So I make a good amount of money off of this little credit card grift. Not an insane amount, probably, I don't know, a few $100s a month. And the way that it works is credit cards nowadays offer a lot of different incentives for signing up. And that's because there are a lot of people in debt to these credit card companies, and they want to entice more people to come and get more in debt, so they offer these benefits. And there's a few different kinds of benefits. Well, there's three main types. There's cashback, which is just like, for money you spend, you get 3% of it back, basically. Then there's referral bonuses, which is where if you get one of your friends to sign up for a credit card link, you both get $100 or something like that as standard. And then the final type is sign-up bonuses, which sometimes they run specific things, and it's usually if you spend a certain amount of money on this credit card, in the first 6 months you'll get, 500 points worth of value that you can spend on flights or something like that, or sometimes it's just straight up cash back. And so there's a couple ways to game the system. The biggest one and the most profitable one is to get a lot of your friends signing up for credit cards. And I do this, I have a big advantage through my channel because I can put my referral links on my website. And so I get a bunch of commissions for things at random times. But if you're really good at socially networking, which is a great skill to practice, you can just convince people to get credit cards as well. And so there are a couple concerns that people might have, which they usually do when I tell them about this little side hustle, which is that aren't credit cards kind of debt machines, and they're kind of designed to entrap you. And there's a couple levels to it. So, goddamn F-35s, fucking Burlington, is thinking about credit cards as not loans. Do not think of them as loans. Think of them as like a sieve that you pass your purchases through. Like a filter function that you run your purchases through. So you're buying stuff. Do not buy anything you would not normally buy. Just do your exact purchases as normal. Buy your groceries. Be frugal as fuck. Buy nothing you don't need. Do that. That is the financially responsible and best way to go about living your life. God, that was kind of inarticulate. Whatever. But you don't want to be spending money that you don't have. And that's that's an easy thing to understand. Credit cards are a sieve that give you cash back and random benefits. And they also give you the benefit of extra security, because if you're defrauded by someone, you can just get your credit card company to cancel the charge. And it's much easier than dealing with debit cards. So that's the first level. The second level, if you're really wise, is okay, it's easy to say, I'll just get a bunch of credit cards and I'll have this 50 grand in liquid capital. Especially if you get an Amex card, you can grow your liquid credit to ridiculous amounts. I know people in the millions of liquid credit, and people that have corporate accounts at these because they have side hustles where they just need to be moving tons of money around. There's a couple of business majors I know that do this, really savvy people, and so they have ridiculous amounts, millions in liquid credit. And so really wise people will argue, yeah, it's very easy to look at these credit cards and be like, this is a sieve for your money, and don't treat it anything other than that. But you're saying that in a very logical state of mind. You're like, okay, I'll just treat them like a sieve. They're a filter. They're not an extension of my money. And it's easy to think that until the circumstances change and suddenly you're in a manic state where you're something happens where you're oh man, I could go for a big gambit here on my startup or whatever. Good thing I have 200 grand in credit. And that's where you dig yourself into a hole credit card wise. And the credit card companies, I think, understand this, that even though there are people farming their benefits, even though there are people that are kind of doing this scammy strategy where they're preying off the credit card company's generosity, they know that it's still profitable. The numbers work out such that even though there's people farming and they're smart about it, once in a while one of those people will slip and be oh, I'm gonna make this huge play and spend all this credit. And yeah, I honestly consider people incredibly wise if they're oh, I don't actually have that self-control. I think I have that self-control, but sometime down the line, I don't know, I could lose that self-control and spend a bunch of money I don't have, so I just don't dabble with credit cards at all. Totally respectable, but I think it's a game worth playing because it makes a good amount of money for a relatively low effort, and it has a bunch of other just side benefits to it as well. I can make a guide about specific credit cards, but honestly, don't get dragged down in like optimizing credit cards. It's like you can spend a lot of time looking at all the sign up bonuses and everything. I think that's kind of a waste of time, and you're gonna get just 80/20 it and like use my sign up links, or you don't have to use my sign up links, but like look at what credit cards I have. Maybe like I can someone can leave comments like what credit cards are their best credit cards. I don't know, people will probably do that, but don't go over the top researching it. It's like pretty simple. You just like, I don't know, spend half an hour. You'll get to see what sign-up bonuses are good, what credit cards are good. There's not a lot to the science of it. Don't watch 300 videos because there's a bunch of people that grift on that. They're just like credit card YouTube channels that make tons of like, oh, here's the hyper optimal point plan to hyper maximize. Don't make your life's work that. You should be making money in a different way, most likely. You should just have a real job. But yeah, you can easily 80/20 and make a good few $100s a month for very low effort and a bunch of other benefits too. And so yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. Now, some people have told me they get kind of freaked out. They're like, oh my God, you have like all these credit cards and you're this young and you're doing this kind of weird grift, and isn't that unethical? And I kind of like, credit card companies are kind of inherently unethical. They're like kind of tricking people into going into debt. That's kind of their business model. So I don't know, maybe this is flawed logic and not good ethics, but I consider it like almost ethically mandatory to try to farm credit card companies for every penny that they're worth. Because they're exploiting, like I don't fucking know, because they make profit off like people that are dumb. Like they're like the lottery. Their profit is people that are desperate and oftentimes uneducated and in bad situations. So it's like you're making profit off the back of those people. But the thing is, like, if you didn't do it, like the money's just going right into the credit card company's coffers, which I guess is like employing people. But that's like getting to a really complex network of where money is flowing, and it's like, bruh, just give me a little bit of extra money. I saw the loophole, you know? There's a quote I really love that's like, the difference between winners and losers is that losers look at the world and they see all the loopholes and they're like, God, the world is such a broken place. And winners look at all the loopholes and they're like, oh my God, there's so much to take advantage of here that people haven't patched yet. I'm going to take advantage of it. So I think, as always, moderation in everything. But sometimes you got to exploit a loophole before it closes. And a lot of people farm credit card benefits. And eventually the credit card companies will catch on to that because everything gets more efficient always. But for the time being, you can farm a good chunk of change doing this little side hustle. So I recommend it.